Don't know what day of the week it is, but Thursday. There you go. Thursday. Okay, so this is an email from Cara. Cara says, I've attempted recovery many times over the years, but now I'm fed up and ready to commit to weight gain fully and do whatever it takes. However, there's always a however, isn't there? However, I have a fear of the people at the schooling program I'm attending noticing this weight gain, and I feel like I need to prepare my class weights or something for the weight gain so that no one just thinks I've become lazy. It's very ridiculous, and I'm sure this is just my eating disorder coming up, with another excuse for prolonging recovery by telling me to wait until I graduate, but I don't want to wait. Any suggestions or advice on how to overcome this fear of other people reacting to weight gain? Thanks so much for your videos, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, Cara, like you said, this is just your eating disorder trying to come up with, you know, when our brains are fearful of something and your brain has this belief that weight gain is something that should be avoided because you've been acting like it hasn't. Anyway, when our brains are fearful of something, it's our brain's job actually to try and dissuade us from doing the thing that it's fearful of. That's its job. Your brain's trying to protect you. And if you've taught your brain that something is to be afraid of, then your brain will do its job in trying to protect you from that thing. So your brain is just, as it should be, trying to come up with all of the reasons and everything as to why you shouldn't gain weight, because your brain has been taught by your actions that weight gain is something to be avoided at all cost. And so it's going to get desperate. It's going to pull things out, it'll take anything it can get to try and persuade you not to go ahead with anything that might cause weight gain. And so with that in mind, you've just got to understand that your brain's going to throw out all these thoughts and all of these reasons and all of these excuses as to why you shouldn't do what you know that you need to do. And don't be mad at your brain. It's not trying to be difficult. I know sometimes it can feel like you're just like, seriously, brain, stop. It's not just trying to be difficult. It's just doing its job. It's doing its job beautifully. So you can just be like, thank you, brain. I get what you're trying to do. No. I noticed you used the word lazy in there, Cara. I think I'm taking the word lazy back. I use the word lazy about myself all the time, and I don't think of it as a bad thing. In fact, for me, somebody who struggled with compulsive movement, being lazy is an achievement for me. And sometimes being lazy is the most productive thing I can do. Sometimes I just really need to be lazy because I'm tired. And so lazy is a productive thing. When we're tired, we often need to just rest and do nothing and be seemingly unproductive. But in doing so, we're allowing our bodies to rejuvenate, regenerate, so that we can actually go forth and be productive when and if we need to or if we want to. So try and when you catch your brain doing that lazy thing, using it as a bad word, understand that if you have a restrictive eating disorder, lazy is something that you have to aspire to be. Lazy is something that you struggle with, and lazy is something that you are fearful of. And so lazy is actually something that you should be aiming for and seeing as a really positive thing if you can achieve being lazy. And as to the actual fear of like, well, what will other people think of my weight gain? The majority of the time, they really won't give a shit, because everybody's got their own shit to worry about, and everybody's got their own securities that they're worrying about. And so all the while you're worrying about your insecurity, which is, will people notice that I've gained weight? Everybody else is worrying about their own insecurities. We're quite selfish like that, humans. It's kind of all about us all the time, most of the time. And so if people do notice, most of the time they won't care. And if they don't have a restrictive eating disorder, most of the time they won't even judge it either. Most of the time they'll probably be like, oh good, looks better. That was as much as it goes. That's what I noticed anyway. And I felt like, because to me, my brain made such a big deal out of weight gain, that made me think everybody else's brain does the same thing. But not everybody else's brain really cares that much or thinks it's that important. Definitely not as much as your brain does when you have a restrictive eating disorder, because when you have a restrictive eating disorder, you've been spent so much time paying attention to your weight and other people's weight that your brain has learned that weight must be way important. It's not. But other people that don't pay that much attention haven't taught their brains that. And so most of the time, people really don't care. Hope that helps, Cara. Bye.